Alright, we're gonna go over the attachments I run on all my operators. Updated version, everybody asks. Been haven't done one of these for a while, so a lot has changed, you know, because of recoil change and stuff like that. On Sledge, I currently run the ACOG with a muzzle brake, obviously a grip. SMG 11, hollow, flash. Thatcher is the exact same as Sledge, it's a muzzle with an ACOG. I don't use the AR-33, so I don't really know the setup for that. Ash, currently running the hollow muzzle brake. Sometimes I switch to flash, just depending. Some days the flash feels better, someday muzzle feels better. Thermite, currently using hollow with flash. I don't use compensator much anymore, just on very few guns. Since the last like recoil update, everything just feels different with comp. I feel like the jumpiness is too much. On Twitch, we're running ACOG muzzle with a laser. Another gun I switch between muzzle and flash. It really just depends the day. Glass, I use... What do I use on Glass? Muzzle brake on Glass. Fix made. You know, back when I was decent. Fuse, I've been playing lately actually for fun. I don't play him very often, but lately I've used him, and this is one of the guns I do use compensator on. It's a fun gun. You guys don't realize how good this gun is, but if Fuse was a 2-speed, he'd be used way more, for sure. I don't play Blitz, so we're gonna skip Blitz. IQ, I run the Commando with Flash Hider. I also switch between Hollow and ACOG on IQ. It really just varies. Buck is another character, or operator that I switch between muzzle brake and flash. I don't know, I think muzzle brake and flash is just the best right now, for whatever reason, but muzzle brake and flash seem to be my go-tos on most guns. Capitao, we are using Flash Hider. I switch between ACOG and Reflex on Capitao's gun. Hibana, we are still using the same, I think, from the previous video. Wrong button. Compensator with the normal grip, and actually I'm using muzzle. I'm tripping. Okay, I'm still using muzzle on this one too then. But I switch between hollow and vertical on Hibana. The bearing, I'm using compensator. Bearing recoil though right now is just awful, so to be honest, you might have a better chance just using the pistol. The pistol's pretty nuts. Jackal, I don't play him often, but I use both of his guns. ACOG flash on the PDW, and then I think it's Flash Hider as well on this. Yeah, the flash on the C7E as well. I switch between hollow on the C7E, but on the PDW I always use ACOG. Ying a ding. Alright, Ying is kind of a different setup. I think this is one of the only guns I use angled grip on. Since the recoil changes, her gun, like, in my opinion, has like little to no recoil now, especially if you can already control some recoil. Flash Hider angle with ACOG, and sometimes I do go to hollow, but Ying, I mainly have been using ACOG. Zofia, I actually am not 100% sure what I like the most right now. I've been switching between muzzle, comp, and flash between Zofia, so I don't really have like a preference on it right now. But from the previous experience, I used to use compensator on it before the recoil changes, so not really sure right now which I prefer. And I don't use his or her LMG, so I can't see what I use on that. Dokubi, I use muzzle ACOG with vertical grip. You know, basic, everybody uses. SMG 12, they use a laser on. Not that it means much, but use a laser. Lions V308, ACOG flash, same thing as before. Look at that skin, we need more skins like that. That's sick. Finka, we use ACOG compensator. I don't play Finka very often, so this could be completely out of date. I really don't play her often. I just like the weapon skin, you know, and she's kind of designed after me, you know. Basically twins. Basically twins, you know. Got the fucked up haircut with a scar on the nose, just like me. We got Maverick. Maverick, I use both of his guns. Primarily the AR-15. I use ACOG muzzle because it is a DMR. This gun is slept on, I think. A lot of people I've seen that play Maverick always use the M4, which is also a good gun, but that AR is nasty. And on the M4, I'm using hollow flash. So I kind of switch between the two. If I'm being more aggressive, I normally go with the M4. And then if I'm using, you know, playing more passive, I go with the AR. Switching over to our defenders. Obviously, smoke. I don't really have any attachments on it. You don't really need one. Just run the whole default shotgun. SMG-11 is the same thing as sledge, flash, hollow. Mute. We are using, I think it's reflex flash. Yeah, reflex flash hider on mute. I really think they should have buffed his gun, not give him an SMG-11, but it's okay. Castle. This could vary between my Castle and Pulse, but on Castle I'm using hollow flash vertical. On Pulse, sometimes I do switch to angled grip instead of using the vertical grip, just because it's a 3-speed. So sometimes I like to aim in quicker, you know, getting those quick gunfights sometimes. But same thing, hollow flash vertical, but I do switch between angled on Pulse. I don't really ever use it on Castle that often. Doc and Rook are the same thing, so we're gonna skip back, or we're gonna skip Rook. I'm using ACOG flash on Doc. I don't play Capcan or Tachanka, so I'm gonna skip over those guys. On Jager, we're running hollow flash. I've seen a lot of people been using muzzle on Jager. I haven't personally tried it myself. I've just gone between flash and comp still. Might try out muzzle, see how it goes, but right now I'm using flash. Bandit, we got, I believe, hollow flash. Oh, muzzle. Okay, so right now I'm using the muzzle brake, but most of the time I do use flash hider, so I'd recommend trying both, see what you like. I don't think compensator is good on it anymore. That's what I used before the recoil changes, but I don't know, compensator just seems to be the odd one out. On Frost, we are using angle grip reflex with extended barrel. I don't use a silencer because it lowers the damage. Use the extended barrel. This gun's insane. If her, you know, ability was a little better, she'd probably played more often. Valk, probably one of my highest played operators. I play reflex flash, but I do switch between reflex and hollow. I'm not really a fan of the angle grip on Valk. Not sure why, but not a big fan of it, so I don't use it very often. Cav I don't play, so we're gonna skip over Cav. My Echo loadouts right here. I don't really use the bearing on Echo just because of how bad it is now recoil wise, so I normally use the MP5 with the pistol. Mira, I think it's hollow comp. Yeah, okay, I'm still using hollow comp on Mira's gun. Look at that weapon skin, by the way. Make sure you guys buy your favorite team's weapon skins, they're sick. But yeah, comp on Mira. Lesion, I believe, is hollow flash. Yep, we're using hollow flash still on Lesion. That Penta skin on. Ella. Okay, so Ella is still a big question mark for me since the recoil changes. My last video I had muzzle, but I don't know which I prefer yet. At this point, I might even try a silencer, to be honest. Her gun's recoil is just crazy. It's really RNG, so pick what you like, stick with it. Vigil, probably my favorite operator on defense. I'm running reflex, compensator, angled. I have two different setups for Vigil. If I'm using angle grip, I always use compensator and reflex, but if I'm using the normal grip, I go hollow, vertical grip with a flash hider. I can't really explain why, it's just something that I've always done. So I used to use comp though before the recoil changes with the normal. I used to use compensator. Then Then I use the SMD12 on Vigil. I don't really like the DZ. Maestro. We use ACOG Flash, the laser. You guys already know how nasty Maestro's gun is with hip fire. Not as good as it used to be, but it's still pretty good. Yeah. And then I always use the shotgun pistol. Always help the teammates with holes in the walls and stuff like that. An Alibi, probably one of my favorite operators as of late. I'm using hollow flash, and then I also use a shotgun pistol on her gun as well. Or her secondary as well. I don't use the shotgun, so I don't know about the shotgun. And then lastly is Clash. I started off originally liking her pistol more than the SMG, but after getting used to it, we're running muzzle on it with a laser. Pretty nasty gun once you get used to it. Might take you a bit, but really good. And then, you know, you guys see I don't have an operator on attack. That's Blackbeard. We don't play Blackbeard. We don't appreciate, you know, broken mechanics within the game. But yeah, that's all my operators. Enjoy that.